It was interesting for me because I'll admit, like, throughout my life, I have always felt, I guess the best way I can explain it is someone or something. I've felt uh, another presence throughout my life. Like I feel them in the room. Who they are, what they are, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Maybe it's a ghost.
Your ghosts aren't real, but
That's not true.
yeah, it is true. Ghosts aren't real.
Okay,
Not not
so
not in the sense of the explanation we always believed that ghosts was people's dead spirits. No,
I mean,
people died and
yeah,
no, but
I
a,
think
a lot of situations where people think it was ghosts is just actually an interaction with a interdimensional or extraterrestrial being
I
or
think
elemental.
I think that more so it's like a person that quote unquote has passed on but are still living in a different dimension that you're unable to really see. Because if you think about it, when we have those conversations about not dying for real and just shifting realities, in one reality, you could be dead. But if you're still in the same place, or if you still reside in the same home, and in your reality, you're not dead, the people might not be able to see you, but you're still there in a different reality on top of them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit with that a little bit.
Hmm?
I'm gonna have to sit with that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll talk about that. Okay. So,
But as I was saying, before you continue, I don't, because I was telling you, I wanted to, I'm gonna continue with my little soliloquy that I had started while you were fixing your um nose ring. Um, but when I started reading, like I said, I had always felt the presence in my life every now and then, different places, different situations. I feel them. They'll come for like a couple of days up to a couple of weeks, and then they're gone, and then I won't feel them for 6 months, maybe a year sometimes. But once I started reading this fucking book, these niggas was coming every night, every fucking night. It was an interesting fucking experience because it's like these niggas was waiting for me because as soon as I would go in the room, I would turn the light off, I would get under the cover, and this is last year. And as soon as I got under the cover, here these motherfuckers come walking in the goddamn room. I hear them and I feel them, but I can never see them. But yeah, this book is interesting.
throughout mythologies of ancient culture, from indigenous tribes to ancient Sumerian, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman civilizations, we are presented with accounts of extraordinary visitations by gods and demons from other worlds. The visitors from elsewhere were both feared and worshipped by ancient man, and the foundations of most ancient cultures were built upon a literal acknowledgement of unseen worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it says we in these times we have dismissed ancient recorded accounts of otherworldly visitations as the superstitious folly or imaginative fantasy of a primitive peoples. Much in the same way that we attempt to invalidate the extraordinary experiences of people today by viewing them as mental aberrations. And we've discussed that before about how, like, people see things that other people don't see or hear things other people don't hear, and they get, thrown into like the asylum.
Mm-hmm.
When really,
And,
in
uh-huh.
consideration, you have to consider the fact that those are gifts that people are saying it's not real, when in
Right.
actuality, just because you can't see or you can't hear what they're thinking and seeing doesn't mean that it's not there.
Mm-hmm. They're more in tune with existence, which is why they were able to do things then that over time we have lost the knowledge to be able to do because we have forgotten our connection to all that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the technologies where they built all of these pyramids, these statues, these tombs, with it's assumed they did the shit with chisels and shit like that, but no, they had technology where they were able to lift the stones, tons of stones that weigh tons with sound and levitation, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm
and
like, you had to be either giant or you had to
you
lift up
know,
your brain.
well, see, I believe
That's
in
what it's like.
animism. I believe in animism, which is that everything that you see has its own energy, life force, if you will.
Yeah.
So, like from a book to a chair, everything has its own unique energetic signature to it.
Of
So,
course, because that's what makes it look like it does.
right, and so,
I think the same thing goes for like books. Yeah, like a
hmm?
Sims game, like a simulation.
Yeah, like a Sims game,
Those
yeah.
those characters, you're not gonna be able to convince me that
Mm.
they not like living in their own world for real. Even when you
Yeah,
walk away.
yeah. I said they can because I think mathematics explains no, excuse me. Science explains the template that reality is built on. Because reality is just a projection. Reality is not it's not a solid thing. So the experience of the solidity is real, but it's not real. The double slit experiment proves